And joining me now is Antonia Okafor, Director of Outreach and National Spokesperson for the Gun Owners of America. Welcome to BNC Live.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so first off, I want to start with your reaction to that piece and why more black women say they're buying guns.
Well, my initial reaction was actually a tearful one. I got to be a part of that experience. I was there a few weeks ago. Gun Owners of America actually sponsors that event every year. And this is my second year being a part of the event. And it's as a personal, narrative for me. I mean, I'm a sexual assault survivor, and having gun ownership has been very beneficial for me. And so I love seeing other Black women, especially, who are taking their safety into their own hands and actually, doing what they need to do to protect themselves and the ones that they love. So it's a beautiful thing to see.
Okay, so now I gotta know, what kind of gun do you have, and do you feel empowered having that gun?
Well, first of all, I'm a Texan, so the fact that you said I have one gun, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Right, I didn't know you was in Texas. I would have said, list the list.
Yeah, I'm also not personally going to talk about every firearm I have, but I do have a wide array of firearms, from handguns to rifles to shotguns. So, I mean, I've done things that I've never would have even thought to have done even 5 years ago. I never shot a gun until I was 25 years old. And now I've gone from turkey hunting to dove hunting, to also, of course, shooting for self-defense and teaching other women. I'm also a firearm instructor as well. So this is something that has been so personally impactful and empowering to me as a woman. But also to be a part of this movement of other Black women getting involved has been a beautiful thing to see as well.
Yeah, I took my wife to a gun range for the first time when we lived in Texas, and I was shocked how good she was. She was like, pow, 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 pow. I was like, okay, I'm not messing with her. I'm going to stay on the straight and narrow. So I get the empowerment
Don't
aspect.
mess with women.
Right. I get the empowerment aspect. But we do want to stress that it's important that if you do become a gun owner, what are some of the things people need to know about owning that gun, like the classes and making it legal and stuff like that?
Yeah, so it depends very much on your state that you live in. So, of course, on the federal side, everyone has to go through a NICS background check. So when you go to the gun store, you go and you get your background check. And then once you're able to actually purchase that firearm and take it home with you, I mean, it just goes from there. A lot of people want to go get their concealed carry permit. Permit that they had, and that's what people in Detroit, the women in Detroit, that was the next step. They learned how to shoot the correct way and the safe way. How to store it the safe way is very important as well. So make sure, even if your state doesn't require you to take classes, that you go out and take classes as a responsible gun owner.
That's so important. So would you say that the increase and the loss of faith and confidence in the police and government is also sort of driving this force for people to becoming armed?
Honestly, I hope so. I mean, that is the intent of the Second Amendment. The intent was not to empower the government. The intent was to empower the people. Particularly people who are most vulnerable, who are most suppressed. And so gun ownership has been especially a part of Black history, of being able to help African Americans rise up against their oppressors who don't want us to be able to have an equal means of force in defending ourselves. So this is important that we stick to ourselves and make sure that we are protecting ourselves and our family. And at the end of the day, it's all up to you. You are the one who's the best first responder and defender for yourself and for your family. And I hope more people are seeing that.
And I understand that, but we've also seen how the police treat lawful Black gun owners. So would you say that the risk of injury or even death kind of increases for Black women with guns, or Black people with guns in general?
I wouldn't say the increase of death when it comes to firearm ownership. I mean, like you said, women especially are very, very practical, and they're also very focused on training when it comes to firearm ownership. But when it comes down to the very real interaction with police, unfortunately, we still have people who don't see African Americans and Black ownership. And so when it comes down to it, it comes down to, I'm not going to advocate for someone to take away firearms, of course, especially not from Black people. If anything, we should normalize Black ownership to the point where more people see us and they see us as law-abiding, responsible citizens. But also, yeah, we should be keeping those accountable who are not following the law and keeping everyone accountable as they should be.
That's a great point. But you know, also hate crimes hit a 12-year high last year, and according to the FBI report released just this Monday, attacks on people of color, well, it rose 40% last year, and overall black people were the most targeted. So are guns sort of, I guess, the right tool to fight this hate?
You know, unfortunately, I mean, like you said, it's a tool. It's just one of the many tools that we have that is available to us. And honestly, it's not a privilege, but it's something that we have having to fight to show that this is a human right, whether you're black or white. So if it's going to come down to, we have to make sure that if we are going to do this, if we're going to push in this movement, that we're doing it responsibly, that we're helping people see the very real realities of it, that we even promote those. Sometimes there's insurance, you know, involved of having those lawyers on standby when you don't understand the law, when you need someone to talk to when it comes down to, okay, how am I doing this? Am I doing this the legal way? And help make sure that I continue to do this the legal way. So there are things, there are tools in place that are already there for black and white people. But when it comes down to it, we have a responsibility in our own community to make sure that we're teaching other people in the community how to be responsible gun owners.
Yeah, I love how you keep promoting the legal aspects and the teaching aspects, so that's so important for people to understand. But you know, I look at things like this. The Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, and other far-right groups plan on holding a rally at the U.S. Capitol on September 18th. And intelligence officials say that this group is demanding justice for hundreds of people arrested in connection with the January 6th insurrection. So are you concerned at all about the threat of these white nationalist groups and what that means for Black America?
No, I'm not concerned because, you know, there are also black militia groups as well. A very popular one that we all know about is the Black Panthers. And unfortunately, we've had groups in the past who said they're for, you know, gun ownership for all, but when it really comes down to it, they're not really for all, right? So that's what we have to keep people accountable for. The groups that will say that the Second Amendment is for all people, but when it comes down to different groups that they, again, don't consider someone who's normally having a firearm, we have to do a better job of making sure those people are kept accountable so that everyone knows that they have a Second Amendment protection, not right, but a constitutional right and protection to protect that human right they already have to protect themselves and the ones that they care about.
She said, I'm not concerned because I'm strapped myself. You are ready for it.
Okay, like, exactly. And I'm going to continue to teach other people to do the same because it's their right. They need to know about it. So,
Well, I thank you so much for educating the community about it.